What is going on, everyone? Welcome to day 16 of the Halloween Horror 3. For day 16, I'm going to be reviewing Return of the Living Dead 2. Now, this is one of my favorite sequels in the franchise, and just one of my favorite sequels in films in general. Now, I'm not big into the zombie genre, this is just not my cup of tea, but when it comes to this movie, I love it. I do prefer it more than the first movie, and actually, a reason for that is due to the fact that I watched this movie when I was younger before the first movie. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have been watching horror films in elementary school, but it is what it is, and it's actually all due to thanks to my father who got me into the horror genre. So, Return of the Living Dead 2 follows basically a town and the residents in this neighborhood getting turned into zombies basically. The film starts off with this military truck and one of the barrels dropping into this cemetery, into like this mausoleum type of building of some sort in the cemetery because they have caskets there. Then of course you have a group of kids going, and of course some of the kids are the bully, while the other kid is kind of the you know the one that doesn't really care for them. It's the kid that the bullies pick on. The little cliche thing that is well popular for 80s and 90s films. But they make a dare to go to this, and go to this like little mausoleum or whatever you want to call it. That's the best term I can think of. And they come across the barrel, they see what's in there, and one thing leads to another, to where the toxins that are in this barrel carrying this corpse uh, expands out, of course raises the dead, and actually ends up making one of the kids extremely sick, kind of similar to what the main two went through in the first movie that were working at that storage facility for all the medical stuff. So while this is all going on, the zombies start to be reanimated, the military is involved, and compared to the first film, the military doesn't really take the town out like they did in the first film. Instead, they come in to help whoever needs the help. Of course, we have the two actors from the first movie returning as two completely different characters, and kind of go through the same thing and make references to the first movie as if like a deja vu moment, which was genius on the director's part for doing that, having them come back and everything. So that was pretty cool. And then, of course, the young kid from the first movie, the one that was dared to do this, he teams up with a few other characters to kind of stop these zombies. They kind of have an idea of what's going on. So it's like they're more aware of what's going on. The military is more aware, and that's why they go and help the survivors and things like that. So they have a better control with this whole situation. Of course, what I do like about this film is that the kid, before I get into it, spoiler warning, so you are warned. If you haven't seen the movie, stop this video, go watch it, then come back. So just wanted to point that out. So the spoiler: the young boy, the bully of the film, turns into a zombie. We actually see that iconic scene, at least to me it's an iconic scene because it always stood out, is when his sister comes up, he hugs her, or she hugs him, and then he decides to take a bite. So I thought that was interesting to go that route where the kid kind of gets affected like the two guys from the first movie. Even though they are going through the same thing, we also have this kid. And yeah, one thing leads to another. They definitely stepped it up for this movie. Especially when it came to the makeup for the zombies and all the practical effects and stuff like that, looks great. I do like the story. I think the story has more of an expansion compared to the first movie. The first movie's like, oh, this is how it started. Second movie's more like, okay, this, we need to contain this. We don't need to repeat what happened in the first movie. Excuse me. So I do like that. I like that they went that route. I like that the supposed like Tar Man character from the first movie, they kind of did their own version for this film, and that canister kind of similar, but not kind of its own thing as well, which I do like. I like the fact that this movie takes place in a small town, or no, I wouldn't say small town, I guess, just a regular town and neighborhood. Compared to the first movie, that's kind of the same similar route, but I feel like everything else has more of a character than compared to the first movie. The first movie takes place, in a couple locations and then sets into one location itself. While this movie has a better expansion on things, and I like it. I think it works. Um, the zombies are definitely a lot more. I would think are more aggressive in this one compared to the first movie. Now, the interesting thing about these zombie movies is they're not over the top gore like Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Those are pretty gory. These zombie films are not as gory as you would expect them to be. So I do like that because I feel like, well, I don't know why I said it like that. Hit a little southern accent there. I apologize for that. Getting caught off guard on that. What I do like is the fact that it doesn't it takes to me, when you see a zombie film and you have all this gore, it takes away from the imagination of these zombies. We know what they're going to do, but I don't want to see what they're doing. I want, I don't want to see specific things be seen. To me, it just takes away from the zombies because then I know what to expect. I mean, you kind of know what to expect in some way. I don't know. I guess I like the mystery of it. I guess is the best way to put it. Even though I know what they're doing, I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like it takes away from the zombies in general when you're showing what they're doing. I rather them. We're seeing what we know what they're doing, and we kind of see it, but I don't want to have everything kind of given away there. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of something I've always that's kind of why I've always been not a fan of zombie films, because it's a takeaway for me. I'm a lot of you I'm sure will agree to disagree. Um, but yeah, I just Return of the Living Dead 2 is like a film I don't hear people talk about often. It's just a fun zombie sequel and a zombie film in general. I definitely compare it to the first movie. This is, I feel like, a better film because I feel like there's more to do compared to the first one. But I like the first one because it kind of is that stepping stone and in all reality, has a huge expansion to the universe, which I don't think we get with all the other films, which is unfortunate. But regardless, I'm still very happy that we got this movie. I've always found it to be entertaining. Like I said, it's one of my all-time favorites, and I wish if we had gotten we did get a third one, but if they had gone a different direction, I think it would be a really cool trilogy. But they kind of went a different route to the third and pretty much and so on to the rest of the franchise, which I think was what, part three and like two straight to home video releases. So, all in all, Return of the Living Dead 2 is just a fun movie. A fun zombie film. It's definitely a nice step up to the first movie, in my opinion, and I do like the nod to and the references that we get from the original film with the two returning actors from the first film having that deja vu moment, quoting moments like that, like I think we've been here before and stuff like that, to having the young boy kind of go through what those two were going through in the first movie, even though they're going through it in the second film differently, but you kind of get the gist of it. And the fact that the military is more aware, and just all in all, just the atmosphere I feel like is a lot better with this. The score is fantastic, even though the score has been changed with the home video releases. And this is actually a Scream Factory title I do want to get, which I'm hoping probably to get, maybe at the end of the year or during tax season. But yeah, it's just a fun movie. I wish I could say more. Do I find it underrated? Yes. I don't hear people talk about Return of the Living Dead Part 2. The poster is iconic. Actually, that's one of the posters I want to get to hang in my room because I've always been a fan of that poster. It has the Fright Night feel to it. I think the guy who created the Fright Night poster also created this one. So I think that's one of the reasons I've always been a fan of that poster. It just, even the poster has that creepiness to it as well. So nonetheless, that is my thoughts on it. That's my review and thoughts on Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this film. Maybe we'll get it on 4K next year. Who knows? Maybe I'll hold off on the Blu-ray if that does happen. I mean, let's be honest. Poltergeist 2 got a 4K. I'm sure Part 3 will be coming out next year. So yeah, I'm crossing my fingers. I know when tax season comes, I do plan to pick up a lot of titles that I haven't been able to get. Like, I want to add the Police Academy. There's a couple shout selects like Police Academy, Cool World, and then there might be a couple others. And then for Scream Factory wise, there's a couple 4Ks I want to add, as well as some of the the new Blu-rays they've been coming out, like Dracula 2000, Lost in Space, The Island of Dr. Moreau. So those are at least three, and then Killer Clowns from Outer Space, being 4K I want to get. So yeah, there's gonna be some pretty cool stuff coming in the new year. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what your thoughts are on the sequel. Is it one of your favorites? Do you prefer the first film? Hell, what are your thoughts on the other films that come after this? What's a different direction you would have liked to see the third film go in after this movie, and maybe after the events of the story in this film? Would love to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. I do collection updates, movie reviews, a closer look at some of the Blu-rays and 4Ks I have in my collection, which I will be getting back into, and just so much more movie related. And of course, I'm bringing back some of the wrestling content, hopefully either by the end of this year or the beginning of next year. We'll see what happens. But if those are things you're into, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you guys are notified when I do upload a video. And if you guys would like to take the time out, check out my eBay store, Mikey's Thrift. The link will be down in the description below. I sell a variety of things, women and men's clothing items, mostly like t-shirts and tops. I have a bunch of DVDs and Blu-rays that I either have upgraded or I no longer watch. So if you guys want to check those out, you can. And right now I have a promotion going on that if you spend $20 or more on anything that's movie related, which are pretty much the DVDs and the Blu-rays, as well as the music CDs I have, you spend $20 or more, you get free shipping. So yeah, shameless plug there, but hey, I gotta try to make some money and try to clear out some of this inventory, so I can invest back in some way to the collection. But yeah, nonetheless, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm Film Talk with Mikey. Till next time, guys, we'll talk films. You guys have a good one. Take care, and see you really, really soon. Peace.